Listen, I hope while we're going through this season that we are learning something, the fellas and the ladies. It is important that we pay attention, because if you look close enough, you will see yourself. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach. We are reviewing Ready to Love, season number 5. Nope, wrong. Season number 4, episode number 5, Eyes Wide Open. Okay, so we open up and the fellas are at the gentleman's lounge. Tommy comes in, per usual, with a purpose, with some intent, telling them how to move accordingly. I be really wishing that we could see like all the unedited scenes, you know, the stuff that they've edited out, you know, the behind the scenes, you know, the good juicy stuff. So the noise you hear in the background is my son washing dishes. I think he's a little mad that I've asked him to do something. He'll be fine, y'all. Don't worry about it. So Tommy says, can you handle yourself at a formal event? Meaning putting on some clothes, looking good, being all dapper and debonair. Because honestly, if you know like I know, you should be able to float through all areas of life. With the homies, with the family, with my corporate America, at the picnics, at the formal event. So I think that this is perfect, because you know, sometimes what you find out is the man you dating or the woman you dating don't know how to act, okay, out in public, in a formal setting, hell, at dinner. Anyway, they're gonna have a masquerade party, but you know what, I want y'all to still keep dating them one-on-one and getting to know them. Okay, so the first people we see on a date is a group date, and it's Kyra, Jason, Alexis, and AJ. And AJ says to Kyra, you know what, we have history, but you are on my top. I mean, listen, we haven't seen much of their interaction, but we do know that she is a beautiful woman, and they dated before, right? And so, you know, she's giving him an opportunity to redeem himself from the fiasco of the cheap date, of leaving his card, or his card being declined the first go round. Well, you know, we see Alexis and we see Jason together. I was proud to see Jason telling Alexis, hey, I'm having a hard time getting you out of parent mode. I see you as a mom of one of my former students that I coach. So that's a hard transition for him. So he says, but like I told you last week, if he was interested, if she was his speed, if it was Kyra, honey, he wouldn't have a problem. But I don't think that he, I don't think that she's his type. I'm gonna just keep that a band. You know, she pretty much tells him, you know, I don't want to be strung along, right? Don't string me along. Just be honest with me and tell me the truth, because that's what she's feeling. She's feeling like he's stringing her along. And listen, we all see it. We all know that the man doesn't like her. You know, and so I was really just glad that he was honest about how he was feeling and didn't do that whole thing of, I can't remember the dude's name from season 1, Aaron, and just string people along and tell them what they wanted to hear because it sounded good. You know, she knew it, she felt it, and so he was like, you know what, she was like, you know, go after who you want, because I know who it is. Like, Alexis may be very honest about, you know, I know you stringing me along, but she liked him. He was her top, and I think she kind of feels a way about him, like not wanting her, but appreciates him being honest. I mean, that's the one thing that we have to understand, is that when they're honest with us, take it for what it is. Walk away. And it's early enough on that your feelings aren't hurt, right? Fellas, be honest. You see how it played out for him. I know men think that we can't handle the truth, but in all actuality, we do better with the truth than we do a lie. It may sting a bit, but we can process it a little bit better. Then we see Ron and Stacy together. Stacy goes to his house, and I thought at least he ordered the food. When I saw him like taking the stuff out, at least he ordered the food, and that's really great. So they sat down and they started to eat and have a conversation. We know that Stacy is divorced for 4 years, that she had has 3 children. And she shared with him that, you know what, I really needed to heal. You know, that's what happened with me, and why I, you know, am just now kind of getting out there and dating. I needed to heal and, you know, get some structure back in my life with my children, because things look differently. So she shares with Ron that, you know, her and Chrissy are close, that they are now called frickin' frack, that they at the mixer became BFFs on day 1. So I guess they've been conversing throughout the process, you know, kikiing and ha-ha, because she went on to say, you know, I was at Chris's house the other day and your name came up. Now for me, that's a red flag for me, and I'm not even a man. For me, we were at your house. We were at her house and your name came up. Like, that means we having conversations about you, which could totally be a turn off, especially in this process when people are trying to get to know one another, right? So let me keep going. I'm getting beside myself. She says that they both have interest in him, and she wants to know, you know, who you like, who's your number one, and that she needs it, you know, she tells us she needs it for clarity. I don't know what it is with these women and needing to know where they place in these men's, like, classification. I don't understand what that's about. For me, right, when you meet a man, you automatically should know that he's probably entertaining other people, that he is dating, and you should be, we talked about this last week, you should also be dating, entertaining other people, being your authentic self, because as the relationship blossoms, right, you'll determine whether or not there's a connection. Because right now it's too soon for us to see. I'm just dating and having a good time is pretty much what he starts off saying. But he eventually says, you know what, Chris is my, you know, my number one. I guess in comparison between the two of them, that Chris is his number one, and he wants to see where that goes. And you know, there's a lot of layers, and they have to have these conversations, etc. He shared with us that he was originally looking at Stacy, like he was really interested in her, but her asking about Chris made things awkward, had him taken aback a bit, and he made him change his mind. Like, I get that, you know, you want to see between you and your homegirl who you like so I can back off, but if you're going to be friends with someone who's in this process with you, you guys need to have a pact and say, well, we are all dating these men, and we're going to like who we like, and maybe we'll meet the same guy and like the same guy. But if I'm going to be your friend, then I can't be intimidated or be slighted if he likes you more. And I'm just going to enjoy the process. Like for me, dating is about meeting people, enjoying people, getting to know people, and seeing if they're a good fit. And if we've only been on 1 or 2 dates, how are you asking this man to categorize, classify, put you in alphabetical order? Like what? Okay, numerical sequence. Why? Every time they do that, and they've done it several times in this episode alone, I cringe. I cringe because as a goddess yourself, you have a lot to offer. If you can stand in your own beauty, you have a lot to offer. In your brilliance, right? You have a lot to offer. And maybe he won't be the one for you, but that's okay. Being beautiful and standing confident in who you are is enough for anybody that is for you, and you will figure that out. I'm on a tirade because I'm going to end up saying it again. So then the next date we see is Amber and Chris, and we know that Amber is smitten with Chris. They go to like a little Zen area and they meditate and they say some mantras and they bask in the sun, the beauty of the sun. When they finish, Amber says it just always feels so natural with him, so easy with him, like they fit. Well, they had to sit down and the question comes up. Amber asks, how do you feel about marriage? Now, y'all remember last season? Y'all remember last season, the first couple episodes or whatever? Chris was like, you ain't got to be married. You ain't got to be married to, you know, have a commitment if you with your soulmate. Y'all remember that? This time, it sounds like he's backtracking just a tad bit by saying, if you want to be married, great. I don't think that that's the end goal though. Last time it was, I don't think marriage is a thing at all. But now if you want to get married, it's fine. Instead of just sticking with, you know, what he feels. And I was shocked to see that she went along with it and was like, you know what, I feel the same way. And I don't want to feel like this, but I'm kind of feeling like because she likes him, that is it possible that she's just going along with what he says because she likes him? Flowing in, like, I don't want to be married. I'm okay with having a lifelong situation with my soulmate. Like, you know, because she says it'll come. Eventually it'll come if you're with your soulmate. But what we know about Kristen last year, at least what I remember, and I could be wrong, y'all let me know down below in the comments, but I remember him saying he didn't want to get married, that marriage wasn't of importance to him, that it was just a piece of paper. I remember it being a whole topic in Tommy's Tavern last year. I mean, if I'm wrong, y'all let me know, because it be happening. Anyway, he says, you know what, it's easy with her. And the reason why it's easy with her is because she's agreeing with the things that you're saying. Okay, so maybe it is easy. Maybe she does agree. But I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know. And I feel like she's beautiful and brilliant enough to have her own set of ideas. So I would hate that she would just be going along with him because she liked him, right? But people do it. People do it. So then we see a group date and it's salsa dancing. And a part of this group date is Ron, Chrissy, Vernisha, Tressa, Joelle, and Dietrich, okay? Ron is actually going to teach them how to salsa. You know, Tressa was like, I thought we was going to have a real instructor, but surprise, it's Ron. It shows that Ron knows how to lead and how to give direction, but it probably would have been nice for each of them to be able to focus on the date. So Ron had to focus on teaching the other couples how to dance and leave Chrissy out by herself. So it would have been nice to have an instructor, but hell, what do I know? And like, I'm just a reviewer. I'm just watching the show like the rest of y'all, okay? I was looking at Joel, and Joel was pretty much saying fuck salsa. Like, this ain't what I do. This ain't what I do, but it's cool. When we see him and Vernisha by themselves, you know, he just spinning her side to side, side to side. And the thing that was getting me that I kept focusing on is the way he was chewing that gum. See, this is what I was talking about being able to take somebody in all environments. The way he was smacking that gum made me want to be like, can you spit that out? But of course, I probably wouldn't have done that on a date, but I definitely would have filed it away for later to bring it up like as we had gotten together. And so last week, y'all was saying that Vernisha and Joel really only had like some sexual chemistry. Like y'all just felt like there was no depth to it. Are y'all still feeling that way? Because let's keep it a band. They just met each other. How much do they know about one another? They should be having conversations outside of this, but how much do they know about one another, right? The first thing you're attracted to is physically, male or female. Women, though, are more quick to switch our brains to be like, okay, well, you know what? He has, you know, great leadership ability. Oh, he's an alpha. You can tell that he's an alpha. Or he dresses nice. Like we can find other things where men are definitely looking at all aesthetics, okay? So I asked the question, do y'all still feel like it's only sexual energy between the two? Because I'm starting to agree. Like, that's what it looks like now. But we have to allow them to get to know each other. We don't really see much of Dietrich and Tressa, which is sad because later on in the next date, I'll share why. I mean, we see a little bit, but they're not like focused in on them so that we really could see how the two of them interact at this stage. But we do get to see Ron and Chris. Now remember last week, they was, you know, he was really like stroking her ego and she was stroking his. Like they might have been perfect for one another because she was a traditionalist and so was he. And it seemed like they were vibing really well. But honey, let me tell you something. Her and this who is your number one shit, like you can tell that frickin' Frack definitely have been having conversations. She said, who is your number one? Because I hear it's not me. From what I hear, from word on the street, from the last time when all the ladies got together, we see Alexis. And Alexis is saying how Ron told her that she was his top. And that they had been having, that they had been conversing on a daily basis. Listen, Alexis is making her rounds, child. She ain't playing with these, she's not playing with these men. She's not playing with these ladies. Remember, she is a producer and she knows how television works, even though she's in news, okay? She knows how it works, and she needs to make her way around, buzz around everywhere. You know what? He was honest. He said, yes, she is my number one. And Chrissy just did not like it. It did not sit well with her. You know, she gave me the vibe of, I'm pretty and I'm number two. Like, I'm not nobody's second. She actually vocalized that to him. And I just thought that the behavior that she was exhibiting was not that of someone who was really looking to be in a relationship. Like, for me, it felt like we are in high school and, oh, you like her better than me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't come second to nobody, etc. Well, listen, evidently Ron is a man of substance, and him having conversations with Alexis is tickling his fancy. They are actually getting to know one another. As he would say, they are peeling back the layers. She started saying, so is it the same way now? You know, like after their date, the first date, and now this date. Is it still the same way now? Is it still in that order? And I said, you know what? Again, you need to enjoy your date. Enjoy the moment. You could possibly miss out on even just a good time and getting to know him because you're so worried about how he feels with someone else. Lady, listen. It is not your concern what he has going on with Alexis, because you should be trying to make more than one connection yourself. You do not want to get stuck in the Nia Chris situation. I mean, we all see how this goes. You want to make sure you get to know and make sure your face is seen, and you don't want to miss out. I mean, shit, you got Dietrich over there, Pawpaw, he's attractive. You got AJ over there, okay, he's attractive. Like, I can't really think of who else is on here, but you got the ability to meet other people. Like, what are we doing, and why are we so concerned about how well someone else is connecting? Because you think you're gonna be left out because you want to be at the end? Well, if you want to make it to the end, let these people in and let them get to know you. I mean, that's just me looking on the outside, you know, looking from the outside in, just watching, but I know a little something. He said that he felt like it was more about her, right, and her ego. Okay, because I was going to be like, well, first off, it should be about her. She should be her first priority, but she should consider you. But when he threw in her ego, I was like, well, there's that. That could be an issue. Ego be getting all in the way. Because she was really like rolling her eyes and annoyed and being real spicy. Like, I need a drink. I don't want to dance no more. Like, being real bratty and immature. Like, you not ready to love. Just me watching you right now says to me, you're not ready because you don't even know how to handle tough situations, conflict resolution. You know, when you get jealous, you haven't even processed that shit about yourself. I digress, y'all. So then we see Tressa and Dietrich on a date. She said that, you know, last time Dietrich had told her that the men were like, you know, that she had a dope personality or whatever. And she was like, listen, you've never heard somebody say, I like her set of personalities. She said, no man has ever said, I like her set of confidence. I said that wrong. I said personality, but you know, it's all kind of the same. So they're at the spice store. And you know, he's like, I really want to see what's up. I really want to see where we're going, and if what I felt is something real. What is the connection that I felt? As we are watching them in the store, it just felt, you could feel that the energy and the connection was not there, that he was not attracted to her, and really she wasn't too attracted to him either. But she did tell us that, you know, she was like, I'm gonna let him lead and see what it is. Like, so now that he's saying he wanna date me, well, I need him to take the lead. I need him to say and show what it is. Dietrich tells us, you know what, it still feels like she the homie vibe. Like, he don't feel like he wanna, you know, lick her up, smack her, rub her down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just feels like she'd be cool to hang out with. You know, they share some tidbits about the spices, especially the vanilla extract. Don't use imitation because it comes from the beaver's anal gland. Get you some real vanilla. Tressa shares with him, like, you know what? Men are happy to sleep with women that are voluptuous, but they never really want to have a relationship with them. So for all my ladies that are a size 12 and above, because you know that's what they consider plus size, but in the black community, a size 12 to me is not plus size. A size 14 necessarily isn't plus size either. However, because that's how they categorize it, size 12 and above, do you feel that same way? Do you feel like men are willing to sleep with you because you're curvy, right? But they don't want to actually wife you up. They don't actually want to be in a serious relationship with you. Let me know down below in the comments. Because I feel two ways about it. I mean, both ways, right? In one instance, when my confidence and I wasn't this glowing goddess that you see in front of you, I feel like my insecurities spoke before me, and that is part of why, you know, I ended up having like sexual relationships versus intimate relationships, committed relationships, because that was kind of like, nobody really wants an insecure woman or a man. So that's my thought, because now, no, they want to wife me up. They want to be in relation with me, like see what my life is about, be around me, meet my kids. So I can see both sides of that coin. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what your experience is. Anyway, but Dietrich, what he says to her speaks volumes across the board, and really speaks volumes to her in this situation now. He was actually speaking directly to her, but it was a blanket statement. And he said, if he wants you, he will come for you. There will be no question about whether or not he wants to be with you. He will make it happen. He will show up and do the things that is required of a man that is interested in building a relationship with a woman. Like, listen up. Like, so when these women were asking all these questions, am I your number one? Who's your number one? Whenever they do that to me, I'm always like, if you have to ask, then you already know the answer. You already know the answer, that you're not that high up, that he's not really feeling you. We know as women, and we need to actually listen to our guts. Listen to our intuition. Our gut tells us before them butterflies in our stomach is probably more of a warning sign. Like, okay, sis, be careful. Okay, sis, watching. Than it is, oh, I'm in love. Listen to your spirit. It will never steer you wrong. And when they left, she said it herself. Tressa said it herself. That man is not interested in me. I mean, we were hopeful. I was hopeful. I was hoping that he wasn't that shallow. You know what I'm saying? I was hopeful. Fellas, the few fellas that watch this show and that actually are not afraid to comment, y'all let me know. What was wrong with Tressa? What was wrong with her? Okay, so it's time for the masquerade ball. Honey, the men are suited and booted. I love a man that dresses well. I love a man that knows how to wear a suit. I love a man that wears a suit tailored to his body. I love a man that is not afraid to step outside the box in the way that he dresses. I love to look at men in suits. The end, period. I ain't got nothing else to say about that. So I was very much entertained by the men and the way they looked. Honey, yes, wear something nice with me so I could gaze at you and look you up and down and let you feel like you a piece of me, okay? Like, yes, yummy. Every time I do that, I be feeling like that old pervish old lady, like, ooh, come here, baby. You sure look good. Like, that's how I be feeling. Okay, so Alexis's dress was bad as fuck. I actually liked it, but didn't like she was like giving wedding vibes, white dress, I'm being intentional, etc., etc. For the symbolism, I was like, that's scary. But okay, I mean, we've got to create and manifest the things that we want, and so she wants to be married and she's being intentional with that. But the dress was bad as fuck. However, Liz did show up, right? It wasn't like she had on the baddest dress or not even necessarily looked the most spectacular. it was the most transforming, because what we're used to seeing her in is a crew neck shirt and capes and her hair pulled back, you know, looking very modest, you know what I'm saying? But when she came today, she came to slay. She was not playing with them, honey. All eyes were on her. And actually, I feel like overall, from what I glanced, because you know they didn't give us a lot of look, like I thought that she did look the most classy, even though she had all the cleavage out. Honey, we got to see that she is a bombshell herself. She did not come to play. Even the producers knew, even Tommy knew she did not come to play. So David, of course, meets her, helps her with her mask, and he says, you know what, people already think we're together and I want them to think that. And she was like, they do? Like, and I don't know now. I'm not sure about the two of them together. I think that she is outstanding as a woman. I'm getting beside myself. Hold on. We see Jason and he's like, oogling over her. He is shocked by her swag, her level of swag. And I'm all like, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Church girls are probably the freakiest women out there, because that they are doing things like abstaining and being celibate, right? Because they have their minds going about the things that they're going to do when they get married. Because Tommy has said, you know, wait till the pastor see you, Liz. Meaning, like, you know, it's not what we would expect from the church girl. Don't underestimate them. I'm just here to tell you. Don't do it. Don't do it. So then Tommy says, you know what? I want to introduce you to my blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of being here at these events by myself. Meet Miss Jackie Miles, Mrs. Jackie Miles, right? And I'm expecting her to come in there looking stunningly gorgeous, and she just looks plain. But maybe that's so it does not take away from everyone else, detract from everyone else. Okay, I mean, it's a cute little outfit with her hair in a ponytail. I love a good ponytail. Pulling that hair back makes us look younger, okay? But I'm just saying. Anyway, okay. He tells them, this is the moment that you guys need to show who you are. It is time to drop the mask. They should have been dropping the mask. They should have been being their authentic self. I mean, that's what it, for me, at least how I see it, that's how you determine if you're ready to love. Can you open up your most vulnerable parts? Are you going to, I'm not saying like right away, but as you're dating someone continuously and you see, okay, you guys are on the same page, can you be your most authentic self? When we see them, they are partying, like not for pretend, like for real. It ain't just them like kikiing, like they actually have like probably a DJ and are partying. You see them dancing and having a good time. And I feel like with your spouse, your mate, your boo, your bae, your romantic partner, that you should be able to have a good time with them too. The end. Like, it shouldn't just always be serious. I should love to be around you and want to have fun, and you know, also be deep and serious. So it was good to see that. So I wrote down, first thing I wrote down was Stacy over there in other people's business. She's sitting there and she's talking to Ron, and she feels it necessary to share with him how to interact with Chrissy, right? Asking first off, is she your number one now? And you're an alpha and you know how to lead, and women like us need to know that you got us. So that's all you got to do for her to open up and share. And I'm gonna be right here watching the whole time. No, Stacy. No, and I know you meant well, Virgo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know you meant well. But that doesn't work with everybody. She was just really trying to help her friend. She was trying to give him insight. She was doing the best she can. They probably had a conversation since, you know, Stacy is no longer an option for him. They probably had a conversation, and she was like, girl, yeah, had a conversation and tell him how. Like, it was unsolicited advice. He did not like it, did not want it, and you could have kept it to yourself. It did not do
you or her any justice. And you can see that he is visibly irritated and annoyed at the fact that he would even have, that she would even have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to have this conversation with him. Like, well, who told you? Who sent you? Chrissy did. We see Alexis sitting over there staged, okay, with her dress all laid down, like she taking photos for Essence or something. Her wedding photos in Essence, honey. Really, the dress is bomb. But, you know, Jackie goes over to talk to her. And, you know, I wrote down, Alexis talks too much. She talks a lot all the time. She tells everybody how she feels and what she thinks. I mean, yeah, we should share our thoughts, ideas, expectations, and boundaries, but not so much where it feels overbearing. During this conversation, it almost felt like she led the whole conversation and Poe Mrs. Miles only was able to get in this much information to all of this that she was saying. She says that she wants joy in her marriage. She asks her, well, what advice do you have, right? Because, you know, they've been together for 33 years, but only been married for a little bit of time. 2016, so what's that, 5 years? And you gonna ask her how to keep a successful marriage? She just started. She been with the same man all that time, but they ain't been married. Wasn't no real commitment. I'm not passing no judgment. I'm just saying, and maybe that's the place she's coming from. Like, you've been with the same man for 33 years. And the advice that she gave her, though, was very good advice, okay? Understand that you're not going to like him all the time and that you have to choose him every day. That's not what she's saying, but that's what I'm saying. I'm inferring, right? That it's work and you have to work at your marriage every day. That is what she said. My cousin who is a pastor spells marriage W-O-R-K. It is constant, consistent work. You have to put in effort. Even when you don't like them, even when you cannot stand them, even when they are the last person that you want next to you, you have to be intentional about it. You have to have conversations and communicate. You have to be considerate, right? Committed, right? Choose them every day. That's how I feel. So then we see Stacy, Chrissy, Chris, and Ron together at the bar. And you know what? Chrissy and Stacy are happy about their bond. And listen, so am I. It is so good to see black women getting to, it is so good to see black women coming together, meeting new friends, and loving on one another, right? It's so good to see that instead of them constantly competing and bickering about some man. You know, that's the narrative that wants to be seen. So I do like that they have a bond, that they are best friends, okay, besties as it relates to this, right? But I am gonna say that their united front can be intimidating. And I wrote this down before the fellas had even said it. Stacy had actually said that the men are saying that the duo is intimidating to them. I want you to think about this, ladies. When you are out at the club and you with your homegirls, it's four of y'all all together, how often do you see a man come up into that group and choose one? It is very intimidating because the friends are looking, the friends got something to say. Girl, not him. You see his shoes? Girl. In addition, you guys are in this together, so how much information are you sharing? And that is exactly what we know to be happening because Ron's name came up, right? Anyway, you know, so Stacy, you know, is like, oh, so you gonna let this stop you from getting to know somebody that you want to? Like, I really think that they see her differently. It felt aggressive, but really she was just like dropping knowledge. So, you know, Chris shares in like his diary cam that the men feel like they couldn't get a word, get to know Chrissy without Stacy's name being mentioned. Like, so they can't sit and have a conversation without the other person being brought up, which is a little weird. And then Tommy comes over and he shares with Frick and Frack that they have to at some point be separate. And Stacy is quick to be like, oh, we are. Well, if the fellas are saying to you that you aren't, then it's probably something that you should consider. You guys should probably take a step back and be like, maybe we need to not always be united, right? That we should just enjoy the moment and then be friends too, because it's a possibility. That's what you do with your friends. Then we see Tommy and he goes and he talks to AJ and Dietrich and Ron, and they see them as one person. Like, That's not a good look when you're ready to love. Like, and like I said, if all the men are saying it, then you should find or figure out a way to separate. Especially like at this party. You're supposed to be mingling, talking to the people that you have built connections with, or are forming connections with, or trying to start new connections. Maybe we talk for a little bit and then we separate. We see Jason with his lusting eyes, okay? I mean, I feel like he is lusting after her heavy. Like, it feels very dirty to me, but that just might be me. It just feels like it, the way he's like pining over her. Pining over her. There's the word. He says, I need to get over to Liz. I need to get her to myself. This is when I wrote that she's a whole ass woman, and that she wants someone that is actually whole too, because he said, do we fit? Do we match? Do you see us, you know, as an us? And she said, well, I need someone who has a spiritual foundation. I need someone who is striving to be the best version of themselves. Like, that's a big thing, because she's saying, I've been working on myself. I always want to do better than I did. I want to, you know, evolve continuously. I see her as like a good catch. I don't know if this was the best option for Liz, right? I just feel like she's done a lot of work, a lot of soul searching. I mean, being by herself for 17 years. Not in a relationship, not in a committed relationship. Let's clarify it, because that's what she said. Not in a committed relationship in 17 years allowed her to do a lot of deep diving. But in that next breath, I'm just hear me out. As women, and we've been independent and we've been alone for so long, we have a set routine and things that we like. Are you able to have someone come into your life and it's going to change your routine? How easily is that going to be for you? How easy is that going to be for you? But y'all got what I'm saying. Like, I'm only saying for myself. I got married when I was 34. I had already been by myself forever, felt like, right? I had a son already. My son at 34, he was 14. So I had been doing things a particular way. And having someone come in and change that routine, bring his stuff too, I had to learn how to compromise and adjust my life to his and him to me. And was I really ready for that? I had no fucking clue. I was not. So, you know, he was like, you know, I really want to get to know her more, whatever. And the way she rubbing on my leg, sir, no, that's just the way people communicate. She wasn't rubbing on your leg. She was touching you. You know what I'm saying? That's how you connect with people. So I don't know. I think that he is just really thinking with the seat of his pants and not with up here, because she is a particular kind of woman. I don't know if they match. I can't wait to see they date, okay? Because he's looking at her body and what she has to offer. Liz asks him, who are your top picks and why? And he says her, because she's got the most Michelle Obama vibe, and that she's really like ladylike. And you know, I'm all like, you hadn't even thought about her before, Jason. Like, and she ain't even called him on it, because if I was your top, then don't you think that you should have been reaching out to me sooner? This shouldn't be our first encounter. We should have already had our first date. Liz, don't be in no conundrum because you like David and now you're interested in Jason. That's good. Dates, girl, date. David is dating. You should date too. You get to choose. You get to decide. You have options, okay, as well. She says she likes Jason's vibe. I'm all like, oh, okay. It's been a long time for you, girl, because Jason is not a vibe for me. But I don't know him. I didn't meet him in person. Okay, so listen. Now we looking at Ron and Chris, and they're having a very surface conversation about, I don't even remember. That's how irrelevant it was and how uninteresting it was. It was so uninteresting that Ron, when he sees Alexis come over, he pretty much leaves Chrissy standing there alone all by herself. I mean, all Alexis had to do was come into the area. They have been building a connection and talking on the phone often. Alexis probably reached out to him initially anyway, right? And I honestly kind of feel like Chrissy did it to herself by not sharing who she was, by asking questions about Alexis. It was very off-putting. You know what I'm saying? So the whole "you should like me because I'm pretty" vibe is not a vibe. Men want substance. They want to know you have stuff to offer. And we know that you have something other than your beauty to offer, Chrissy, right? So show up. You have an opportunity to show up, right? Let me just hold that still. Now on the flip side though, I feel like it was a little rude and a little disrespectful for him to do that, like right in front of her. And then to be like in his diary cam, like I could feel Chrissy's eyes beaming on the back of my head when I went over to talk to Alexis. Like, that's majorly disrespectful, and it actually speaks volumes about your relationship with both of those women, right? It shows where they stand for each of them. And for me, if I was Chrissy, I would bow out gracefully, because I'd be damned if you just gonna walk away. Cause keep on walking, I ain't talking to you anymore. You could just go, walk on, keep on, like, you could just go. That's how I feel, okay? That's how I feel. Like, it just felt very wrong. No matter what place she put herself in with her behavior and her actions, he should have found a better way to exit, says me, as a gentleman. At least that's how he's portraying himself. He's portraying himself as traditional, right? So to provide and protect. So when you're protecting, what are you protecting? You're protecting me, my entire spirit, my being, my heart, my emotions, right? You are covering for me as a man of God is what he says he is. And didn't he say that? At least that's the way I see it, okay? I might be wrong. Listen, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, y'all tell me and tell me down below in the comments. I just felt like the way he did it was disrespectful. He could have just held off because other people were talking to Alexis. He could have just held off and then talked to her for a little while, but it was almost as soon as she came, zoom, here's my option. Like, yes, you are talking and meeting other people, but you already know what it is, and I've already shown you my insecurities when I asked where I stand in relation to Alexis. You are supposed to protect me, have a safe place, safe space for me. And when I show that, when you show me that you do not respect me because that's how I feel about it, guess what? I would see where I stood and be like, okay, well, I see that you know, you are extremely interested in her, you know, and for you to walk away from me like you did tells me that I'm not of interest. It was like immediately I see Alexis, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but please tell me down below in the comments if you think that I'm wrong, if you think that I'm reading this wrong. How would you feel if she had left you for AJ? I don't even know if she's got any other connections. Like, that's what's scaring me too for Chrissy. Seems like the men are interested, but she's not building more connections with them, right? Not exploring other connections because of Ron and how she sees him now. Anyway, we see Alexis now and Ron, and they're having a conversation, and you know, she's all like, I still like AJ. So here he is saying Alexis is his number one, but the whole time Alexis is like, yeah, I got a thing for AJ. More like AJ is my number one, but she ain't out here sharing that while she asking people, because this is what she said. I saw Chrissy trying to snatch you up over there when you came in, and during deliberation, okay, last week, Stacy and Chrissy made it seem like that, you know, Chrissy was your number one and that y'all been chopping it up. Like, this shit is messy. This is messy. This ain't even your man. Nobody cares what your relationship with Chrissy is. I don't care. I got other connections too, and I'm proud that you got other connections. I want you to be happy like I'm gonna be happy. Like, that's how I feel. But again, what do I know? A lot. So then we see her in like a little confessional, and we see her in the little diary cam, and you know, she's like, you know, I like to compete, but I don't like to compete with women for men. The lies you tell, because you're asking everybody that you're dating who's your number one. Like, we even see it in the snippet for next week with AJ. You're asking everybody what your sequential order is and where you land and how they need to act accordingly for you. You are very competitive, even when it comes to men. You aren't just showing up as your authentic self and allowing them to just like you and like you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because you a bad girl, okay? Like, you bad. You got your shit together. And you need to just stand in that. Like, I feel like that for all of them. It's just not for Alexis. And so far, only Tressa for me, Vernisha, and Liz have been standing in who they are. Oh, Kyra too. See, I don't see enough of Kyra, so I missed her altogether. But we're going to see more of Kyra. We're going to see more of Kyra. We're going to see more of Kyra, I feel like, coming up real soon. So, you know, she justifies it and she's like, I just need to see where the connection is. If the connection is stronger. Your connection is stronger with AJ. So is what was implied. So, and I just want to know, like, ladies, how would you feel if the man is asking you, oh, well, who's your number one? I would be feeling like, oh, you don't have no confidence in where you stand with me? You can't stand on your own 2 feet with me? Like, that's how I would feel. I'm just saying. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Because you know I be tripping sometimes. I be over here and y'all be over here. So let's come here in the middle. Get me together if I'm wrong. I just really hate that, like, tell me who I am and where I stand. Validate me. Affirm that I am your favorite. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. You don't need the validation of a man for placing it. You don't need that because you validated and have affirmed yourself that you a bad bitch. Okay, maybe not a bad bitch. And you a goddess, okay? You know what I'm saying? That you can stand, that you're brilliant, that you exude all of these great things. Like, and that's what I see when I see them say, I'm the number one. Who's your sequential order? Who's your number one? I see, pick me, pick me, pick me, affirm me, tell me that I'm beautiful and that I'm on the top. I hate it. Anyway, so, and then, you know, listen, I was just disappointed that he throws shade along with her, which validates how she feels. He says, you know what? If it's genuine, she'll open up. If it's not, it'll stay surface level like it already is. Like, you shouldn't be saying that to her about another woman. That's messy. That's messy. Listen, you want her to know that she your top, then you just vocalize. Like, I rock with you, boo. Like, you it for me. Right now, you are the leader of the pack because that's what she wants to hear, right? Then tell her that. But you ain't got to down somebody else or throw somebody else under the bus or make her feel good by downing someone else because she isn't, you guys haven't peeled the layers back as you continue to say. Like, I didn't like that. That's that, you know, I don't like it. I don't like it, okay? That's that bitch ass shit. Like, I don't like it. I said what I said. I said what I said. I don't like when men do it. I said what I said. So you see Vernisha and Joelle talking, and, you know, Jason walks up and says, invite me to the wedding. Invite me to the wedding. I'm going to be the best man. Okay, so y'all getting pigeonholed with the two of y'all. Y'all didn't learn from other seasons. Y'all, the two of y'all, I hope it don't go left. I hope it don't go left. So then we're at the gentleman's lounge, okay? And now the shit's about to hit the fan. We already knew specifically that it would be probably Stacy of the frickin' frat team that would be on the bottom. And the reason I say that is because you heard the men say, I've been trying to get to know Chrissy, right? Not that I was trying to get to know Stacy. I was trying to get to know Chrissy. And, you know, they're always together and da-da-da-da-da. Like, anyway, here we go. So, first thing that said is how everyone loved how Liz showed up. Like, she came and Tommy was like, now you understand that there's more to her than just her spirituality, right? Women, we come with a lot of different layers. There are so many things about us. You see me now, you see me now as this well-spoken, poised woman, okay, says me, but, you know, I'm also hood, you know what I'm saying? I'm also real down to earth, you know what I mean? Like, I've had people say to me, I think that you're really pretty, and I thought you would be, but you cool as fuck. Hello, and I'm smart and I'm funny. Like all of those things. So we have to stop pigeonholing people and just reading that cover of the book that says church girl and leaving her there, because that church girl got a lot of depth. Her book is probably thicker than a lot of people's anyway. Okay, so Tommy says, who are you feeling? AJ is like, I'm feeling Kyra. Over there is Jason looking like y'all was on a double date. Okay, y'all was on a double date. I'm feeling her because of her forgiveness and the way that she can hold you accountable, and I like that. It's something that I want to explore. Chris says, of course, Amber, and again, he is starting to pigeonhole himself into that one space with the one person again, like he did with Naya. So is Amber, so they better be careful. David says Liz. Joelle says Vernisha. Ron says Alexis. Who are you not feeling? AJ says freaking frack. Stacy and Chrissy, because you can't talk to one by themselves because they're always together. Like, that's a problem. I told you, the group of women, you know. Oh, and in saying that though, I have had a man, I was with my club sisters, and I had a man come up and pull me by my hand and said, I'd like to talk to you. Honey, it was the sexiest thing, and we all thought that that was very much so sexy. He was also a bit of a chauvinist, okay? Like, but it's cool. You see, we ain't work out. Ron says Stacy, because I like, you know, somebody providing direction, but I don't want to feel like I'm your child. See, that's the masculine part of him, being threatened by the fact that she's giving him pointers when she should have been minding her own business, right? I'm gonna just stay over here, and if you want my opinion, I'm gonna give it to you. But I'm gonna tell you, what I know about Virgos is that we have great advice. If you're listening to us, we have great advice. We will upgrade the fuck out of you. I'm not saying anything about any other signs. It's not a diss about them, but it's about us. Like, I feel like we give good advice. Sometimes we need to keep it to ourselves because it's unsolicited, and this is the instant that is shown, right? If you're not asking, I'm not saying nothing, except for here, because y'all came here, so y'all want to hear what I got to say. He said that freaking fact are like two peas in a pie. So to me, it sounds like Ron has already written Chrissy off, right? But I think we see them on a date next episode. Joelle and David both say Stacy. David starts the Tressa trend. Like, yeah, you know, I think she a nice lady, but Tressa. Jason, AJ, and Dietrich agree. Dietrich agrees Tressa. You got her to stay, and now you finna throw her to the side. Chris says the tension is thick in here, like Kyra. So a lot of people are interested in Kyra. I cannot wait to see more of her. So they have Joelle talking to Tressa and David talking to Stacy. And I thought that Joelle was gonna go after Tressa because he said he liked, you know, a good BBW. That's what he said. Them was his words. Y'all remember? I remember. Okay, so again, I'm gonna ask what's wrong with Tressa. Anyway, so he tells her, you know, oh, she thinks it's like a real date. Oh, I finally get to go out with you. And he was like, yeah, the whole time you about to let her down, break her heart. And you have David who's talking to Stacy, and I felt like he was like, oh, this is my moment. This is my time. I get to, you know, give her back the energy that she gave me last week when I was on the bottom. But he did say, I brought that energy in here with me from that. He says, you know, because I really had liked you, and when we went out and I was going in, I guess, for a hug or whatever, he said it felt like you didn't want it, and so it wasn't reciprocated, and so he didn't know, and he took that energy with him into the lounge. You know, he also has shared that they felt like she was not herself, that she was inauthentic, and because of that, she was not ready to love. And listen, she was taken aback and was shocked by it and was like, these men aren't being honest. They weren't being honest about who they were or what they wanted. And if you can't be honest in the process, then what are we doing? She says she feels cheated and she felt bamboozled. Like they lied. Like, I can see where some of the men were saying how I want to get to know you, but now the whole freaking frack thing was her curse, right? But at least she got a good friendship out of it. he said that this was the most genuine that he had seen her. And you know what I know about Virgos for a fact, because I'm one, people will think that we're disingenuine because we don't throw up our feelings right away. We are very observant, we are very cautious, we are very analytical, sometimes over analytical, and so it comes off sometimes, can come off cold, but in all honesty, we are still being ourselves. So I felt like she was being, I didn't see anything wrong with her. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what y'all thought. Was she being inauthentic? I felt like she was always herself, right? Probably more than they could deal with. It's they bad though. Don't feel bad. You might have made some mistakes, Stacy, but it's okay, because somebody watching is finna be like, what's up, boo? What's up, then? I don't know. So as Joelle is talking to Tressa, I mean, I was thrown for a loop. I was thrown for a loop, and he was like, you know, all the men think that you are a queen and that you will find somebody for you, etc. But we are actually letting 2 women go, and you're not ready to love 2? I thought, what? They letting 2 people go. 2 people go because they're not ready to love. And honestly, I feel like that was the wrong phrase for Tressa. We're not ready to love you. You know, I felt bad for her. Like, they always only have one plus size woman, right? One thick chick. And then they have men that don't necessarily like that type of a woman. They had one man, which was Joelle, and he did not even go out on a date with her. I think they did her a disservice, right? Fellas, ladies, let me know down below in the comments, did they make the right choices about who they sent home? Who they feel weren't ready to love? Like I said, I think the verbiage was wrong for Tressa. She is ready to love. It's just ain't nobody on there ready to love her. That's what they should have said. No one here is ready to love you. They're all shallow. They didn't want to get to know you. They said you had a homie vibe because you funny. Stacy, was she, I mean, I think when you think of the grand scheme, it would have been either her or Chrissy, and I think men still want to get to know Chrissy, so I think that's why, you know. And then you probably had David throwing salt, you know, in the wound, throwing salt at her because his wound is still open. His wound is still open from last week when she said, you know what I'm saying, what she said, which is red flags. Red flags, that's what he shows. So y'all let me know down below in the comments, did they get it right? I think that those were their only options. The only options that they had were to get rid of those 2 ladies. Well, they could have just got rid of one, right? Like, they didn't have to do both of them, but it's whatever, because now that means 2 men go home next week. You think y'all finna have more women, more men than us? No sir, no sir, no sir, no ma'am, no thank you. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for rocking with me per usual. If you have not already signed up for May's Ray of Wisdom, ladies, we are going to talk about, are you really ready to love? It is inspired, of course, by the show. The first one, it is May the 21st, which is a Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is only 1 hour. There are a few spots available. And I appreciate those of you who have already signed up. It is going to be a good time had by all with comfort. If it is your first time visiting my channel, listen, before you get out of here, click the subscribe button, become a ray of sunshine. Right next to the subscribe button is a notification bell. Click it and then click all so you're alerted of the videos I upload moving forward. Because honestly, now that Married at First Sight is almost over, I think Wednesdays will turn into like our lives and we can have questions and stuff. And so as soon as Married at First Sight is over, I think the first thing we're going to talk about is love languages. Give this video a thumbs up because you like me and I know it's real. Share it with your people so that they can join in the conversation. I love you in real life and really want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I will catch you on the next review.